On this episode of Open Homes, we head to the country to check out Camalot.
My favourite part is that gallery wall. I feel like it just tells a story.
Jimmy is in Adelaide to see this gem. A modern home with fresh interiors. And at the end of the show, I take a tour of this ultra-sustainable home, lovingly designed and built in the Gold Coast hinterland.
This is such an interesting facade. It's not your average Gold Coast home, is it?
Come with us as we step inside. First up, Beck and Dave take a trip to Gisborne, about an hour's drive northwest of Melbourne. They're here to check out Camalot, the original homestead of the block Tree Change.
Well, Beck, welcome to Camelot. And we've got to say Camelot because of Scotty Cam. That's how we got the name.
Is that how he named it?
That's how he named it. So what do you think? We've got a grand entrance, but first impressions, what do you think of the landscape?
Oh, amazing. A bit muddy, but, you know, look, you can't control the weather, but I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Look, this for me, obviously, when I did the block, we did apartments. So I've come here thinking, like, the scale of this place for the contestants would have been so tricky. And even to navigate for you to work out the landscaping would have just been such a big task. So well done.
Well, they do say biggest block ever, every year.
Every year.
But it literally is the biggest block
This
ever.
one is the biggest one by far.
Well, there's a bit of history on this house right here, and this is actually the original farmhouse, okay? So it started with this, and this was 70 acres through here, so they've split it all up.
Wow.
So there's other 5 10-acre blocks up there, but right here is the original farmhouse. So, as you can see, this is the old part of the house here. Now, when we arrived here, I've got to say, this was absolutely falling apart. There was hardly any veranda. There was virtually nothing left, so they've had to rebuild this. So it does have that old world charm, as you would say.
I really love it, and I love all the traditional accents, but my favourite part is that gallery wall with all of those original news clippings and bits and pieces. I feel like it just tells a story. I think this is a great transition to how they've done the LED strip inset into where the new part of the house starts. I thought that was a bit creative as well, but I do love all that shiplap. I love all of the timber flooring. I love the cladding. I love how that's carried through even through the bathrooms as well. It does have that real old world charm, but it's really interesting to see how that carries through into this new section and how they can make that work together cohesively. When you walk through that new part of the house, that transition from the timber to the brick, and then walking through that hallway past the bedrooms and the bathrooms into this grand entryway into this lounge area, that fireplace is just amazing. I would want to sit here. Like, you don't even really want to sit in front of the TV. Like, you kind of want to enjoy this section. So I think it's really impacting. I also really love the kitchen layout. I think it's really beautiful, and I also think it's quite functional. So having that island bench cut through the centre like that with that timber, even though it's quite chunky and heavy, it works really well. And it's a real functional space for someone that likes to cook.
So, Beck, that's the old house, that's the new house, but I do have something that is exciting. It's the first done in Australia, 3D printed house, and it's right over here.
I don't even know what that is, 3D printed house.
Well, I didn't know what it was until I saw it, but let me take you over there and I'll show you. Let's do it, come on. Australia's first 3D printed house.
Well, I had no idea what you were talking about before, but now that we're standing in here, I think it's amazing. Oh, explain it to me. How did it work?
Okay, so Basically, it's like this. The way I can explain it, it was like a big sausage gun, as you can see here. It looks like ropes of cement. And basically, it goes around and it layers on layers and layers and layers and layers until it gets to the top. And this is all done by computer. So the positioning of this was obviously to have an entrance out this door, straight into the entrance, straight into the spa.
Well, I think it's wonderful. And I think that, I mean, you've done a fantastic job on this landscaping. It's a lot of ground to cover. But this outlook, looking out to that pool with those beautiful trees, it's just stunning.
This one here was obviously, again, we went through a lot of different designs, okay? So we've got to do a bit of new and a little bit of old. And what we've done there is that we've actually used all the actual stonework that's been here since the 1800s here. Wow. And we've taken that, used that as a featured back wall. Yeah. And you can sort of see as we've sort of cobbled the walls down there, and then you see the new part with the render. So that's where the old meets new. We've got basically what we could say is a big round spa there, which overflows into the pool, and all these beautiful olive trees that sit in that basically frame the whole pool there. All in all, I know it's raining today, Beck. We just need some sun now.
Exactly. Great job, though. It looks beautiful.
I've just got to finish my house now.
The house, it's like a never-ending story.
Let's not even talk about it. Let's forget my house, all right? So.
Next up, Jimmy heads to Brighton, a beachside suburb in Adelaide, to see a coastal gem.
Today I'm here in Brighton, in Adelaide's coastal fringe, to visit an architecturally designed house that from the facade will capture you and you will not be able to take your eyes off it. This house, straight from the onset, looking at it, is got so many features and such an organic feel. How did you guys come about and execute this job?
Oh, look, we've got some great homeowners here. Really gave us a terrific brief to have an entertaining house. It's a really coastal, clean atmosphere down here. So they've got views of both the Adelaide Hills, and they can see the ocean from the front, and they wanted all natural materials. So you'll see the rammed earth throughout the home, steel, our really cool glass bridge, which is the first for us.
Well, I can't wait to see the rest of it, mate, so let's go in and have a look. Mate, as a tradesman, I always look at the build and what's involved in a build. And I mean, I can see this rammed earth. There's so much work involved in that. Yeah. And then we've got this butterfly ceiling up there. I'm sure the chippies and the plasterers weren't happy with that design.
Yeah, absolutely love me for the double rake butterfly roof. But it just allowed us to get more high-level windows, more openings in the house, and just a bit of relief on what can be a compressive element, that just straight raked roof.
Well, it looks amazing, and I mean, you've started to bring in the curves up here as well in the kitchen, and then this timber batten wall. I mean, it's taking those sharp edges of the rammed earth away and bringing in that nicer curved feel.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a big space, but it's not huge, so just taking off some edges just relaxes the feel of the home. It's a little bit more coastal as well. We're trying to find an industrial edge with our home, with plenty of natural materials, and those curves really soften it.
And when you say coastal, I mean, we've got coastal, we've got industrial, we've got some mid-century furniture. It's all sort of a mix, but it all works perfectly in the same space.
Yeah, it's actually quite a simple palette in the end. There's timber, some black steel and black joinery, and then there's the rammed earth, which I would like to think is the showpiece, but it's each to their own.
Well, Alan, I think we've touched on a lot of the natural features, but when we step back into the design and the actual fix out of the house, we're talking about this batten timber with the black backdrop. I mean, it really creates a nice effect. And then we've got the two-tone island bench, which I think looks great. You've got the timber breakfast bar, but then your working space is stone.
Yeah, it's zoned off. I mean, there's party at one end and you can work down the other. The black kitchen's recessive, so it's not taking over the space, but it shows off that beautiful bit of stone that we've brought over from Melbourne.
The master suite, I mean, it's the epitome of a well-designed house. I mean, everyone that designs their own home or has professional help from it, really wants emphasis on the master suite, and that one in there is nailed to a T. I mean, it's got that coastal feel, it's got that beautiful lush carpet. Then we walk through the walk-in robe into an outstanding ensuite.
Yeah, mate, look, we're trying to separate with that amazing bridge. It's the first time we've done, we absolutely love putting that together. It separates them from their day-to-day life. They're both busy people, the clients. Then they've got that amazing view through that picture window to the ocean. Yeah. They wake up to that, they read books in that little alcove.
And I can see going into that ensuite, you've taken the curves in there as well with the shaving cabinet and the vanity, you know, just trying to keep everything nice and cohesive throughout the house.
Yeah, that's it. We sort of think of it overall. We try and bring everything through as not as a theme, but, you know, as an aesthetic.
Mate, I absolutely love this entertaining area. I mean, it's got everything you need. We've got a pizza oven, a lap pool, another barbecue area. We've already got one upstairs. Now we've got one down here, a nice preformed concrete sitting area. I mean, there is nothing you could add to this space. A nice bit of grass for the kids or the dogs. I mean, it's perfect.
Yeah, look, it flows through right from the entry. We're trying to funnel all the guests through here, the kids. They have people, 20, 30 people out here every weekend. So it's a resort lifestyle for them, and they love it.
And I think standing back here as well, we can really take in the architecture of the house with all the big windows and seeing, you know, we're facing away from the ocean at the moment, but if you can picture all of those windows out there looking out at that view, it really gives you a really good perspective of the house and the design.
Yeah, totally. We're trying to get some depth in the home back here. The light and sun and shadow does come across the back of this home.
Yeah.
So it's important to get some mood back here. You don't want it overbearing to what is an open plan sort of outdoor area. And we've got decking to soften it. The polished concrete's brilliant, it's hard wearing. We poured that initially with the first slab. So to protect that throughout the build was a real challenge, but we got there.
Well, Al, you guys have really hit this one out of the park. I mean, from the start, seeing that rammed earth, the concrete, the steel, the curves. I mean, it's such a beautiful house that's so cohesive from front to back. And I think the homeowners, you can tell they already love it.
Yeah, they're fantastic. They've been living in here for a year now. Very little complaints from them. We've just tried to make a home that's not overly huge. It just uses the spaces that we've created for them properly. So there's not extra rooms in this house. It's just using the volume we've got.
Next up, Beck is in Doncaster, an outer northeast suburb of Melbourne.
So Damien, Doncaster.
Yes.
This is a nice area.
Thank you. Yeah, we're in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne here, and it's all about sort of gum trees and local flora and fauna and all that sort of thing. So welcome. This is the Graphico house, where every room has a wallpaper in it.
I love that. It's almost like artwork, isn't it, really?
Art on the walls, exactly right. And
Yeah.
it's often mixed with traditional artwork
Yeah.
too.
Now, talk me through the layout, because this feels like a really comfortable townhouse. And the bathrooms are really decent in size, the bedrooms are decent in size, and you've got that beautiful greenery in that sort of like courtyard bit out the back. It doesn't feel small, it feels quite generous.
Yeah, look, it's been pretty well designed. The spaces are all really livable. The way that the builder has designed the place and the architect is designed in a way that a family can live here really comfortably. And even though it's not an enormous block, the actual living spaces are generous and you don't feel cramped.
I also feel like the material selections are really pared back and simple, but it works because you've gone and jazzed it up with all of the the Graphico wallpapers. So I like even the cabinetry, just soft kind of tones. The kitchen's got soft tones. The bathroom, just one simple tile. But I feel like it works so well with all the walls being decorated.
Thank you. Yeah, look, this was a blank canvas walking in here. Everything was just white And then we sort of went to town with the wallpapers. So we had a lot of fun with this property, sort of showcasing a product in each room. We tried to keep everything sort of simple and then let the art and the wallpapers do the talking.
Talk me through the decision of putting the map when you come up the stairs. I love that. It's really funky, but it kind of makes you want to stop and take in, you know, everything that's sort of, you know, on the walls.
Yeah, vintage Melbourne map. It's a really popular design. It's an old 50s map of Victorian electoral districts. I love it because it celebrates the area, and what we've designed here is we've taken parts of Melbourne that relate to the owner. So it's about where they live, and they've got their whole life on that map. And it's exactly what you said. It's a talking point. You walk upstairs and you can point out, you know, that's my house, that's my mum's house, that's Nonna's house, and that's all that sort of thing. The great talking point.
Wallpaper is a great alternative to artwork. Not only is it visually impacting, but it's also cost effective and really easy to change up. This kid's space is a great example of that. Not only does it feel like an oasis in here, but it's also a great space to spark creativity. I think you've done an amazing job, and you can tell that you're quite passionate about it, but I think the product speaks for itself, and I think that you've, you know, really nailed what you've done in this house in particular, but I've seen what you've done even for clients and on the block, and it's pretty amazing, and I think it's a nice way to kind of pave, you know, some change in terms of interior design and what you can do to kind of, you know, add a bit of personality to a space. So well done.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
Up next, we can finally reveal this ultra-sustainable home in the Gold Coast hinterland. Finally, we can reveal this super sustainable house in Currumbin Waters, just 15 minutes inland from the Gold Coast's beautiful beaches. When sustainability is at the forefront of a renovation or build, it's always going to come with more design considerations and sometimes a few challenges. But this home in the Gold Coast hinterland will show you why it's always worth it.
This is such an interesting facade. It's not your average Gold Coast home, is it?
No, it's definitely a one-of-a-kind design architecturally. It was great working with PTMA Architecture on this one in the Gold Coast hinterland, and it sort of encompasses the aspect of such a long and large home with lots of glass and glazing, but very private. Having that goal of being carbon neutral, which it will achieve in both its design, the build method, and also over the life cycle of the building, is quite a, you know, exciting achievement at the end of a project.
And I also love to see in a landscape such as this, where you want the trees and the greenery to do the talking, a nice dark facade, because I feel like when they're really bright and white, you sort of lose that impact a little bit.
Very much so. I think Hanna & Co Design have been great in the choices that they've used alongside the architect, PTMA Architecture. By just having a darker style roof, like this is one of the most sustainable choices you can make in a roof. It's from VM Zinc. It's a beautiful colour, and the whole entire roof and the rear facade and some of the front is all like custom folded and pressed. So it's just the material being used with the build method. And so you get a beautiful, sustainable, long-term, 100-year lifespan on a roof that will just patina and age over time. And it's beautiful, like not one fixing, quite a craftsmanship to actually put in place.
We wanted a really beautiful, luxury Gold Coast home that didn't kind of look like your classic eco houses. We wanted to look like a unique and different house, and yet have really good sustainable credentials.
We
we've been able to achieve a 9.1 Energy Star rating, still incorporated in a dark roof, which sounds really out of the box, but having energy efficient windows of like double glazing, you know, thermally broken frames from the outside to the inside, the roof, even though being dark, there's so much insulation and air gap in it and mechanical ventilation that goes into it where it naturally cools itself. And I guess that's the whole entire goal for Sean and Christiana, is to bring in sustainability and sort of encourage others that it's not an easy road. There's definitely challenges in this build over the 2-year period, but it can be achieved sustainably and beautifully as well.
Well, this is a super interesting layout. There's a real blurring between indoors and outs. Talk me through where I am.
Right now on the You Are Here map scenario is we're in the courtyard, which is such a beautiful space. It brings the outside in on both the front elevation of the home onto that turfed outdoor area, and then also to the rear of the home, connecting it to the pool area. So we're in between both pavilions, one being the master with a beautiful loft facing the nature reserve, and then the other side behind us being the kitchen, living, guest bedroom, and another loft facing in the other aspect. So it's a great central area, which is very open and very breezy. So you don't need to cool it, don't need to heat it as much. And it has a beautiful ambience around it.
It is a hot Gold Coast day, I can confirm.
Yes.
But I'm feeling very good where I'm standing. So how many bathrooms, how many bedrooms?
So 2 bathroom, 3 bedroom, including the master. We have an upstairs office loft area on one pavilion and a really cool games room loft on the other.
Very cool.
Yes.
And not many homes have a specific games room.
No.
So was this a knockdown rebuild?
Almost to that point. It started off with wanting to work with the existing structure on the block itself. We ended up keeping the fireplace, which is in this courtyard, being restored, and all the roof trusses. But as soon as we pulled off the gyprock sheeting, it had probably the worst termite damage I've seen in my building career, where the gyprock was almost holding the home up. So the design changed slightly, but the build method definitely did a 180 on, okay, how do we approach this in a sustainable way, but rebuild the home, incorporating the existing slab. So the whole entire layout's been designed on the existing slab, which I think is really clever. Because we're not transferring all that carbon and embodied energy just to create a new structure. We're actually using what's here.
So the house has a mission. We really wanted to show people that you don't need to compromise on what you think is beautiful or aesthetically pleasing. You can have that form and still have sustainable functionality. So that was part of it. And it's orientated the wrong way. So to get 9.1 is amazing. And I think it's probably one of the most sustainable houses on the Gold Coast. I don't know anyone else that would have this level.
You've got to talk me through the inclusion of the pond.
That was debated multiple times during construction. Is it happening, is it not? And I think the result, and I feel that just adds to the space of having some natural running water, almost like a dry creek bed, right outside this beautiful sitting room off the master. And it's really calming.
It's so calming. I could almost
calming.
go to sleep. But it's visually as well. It's not just the sound, but visually it's very calming. It's just nice to be able to see water.
Thanks for watching. We hope you found some inspiration looking through these incredible homes and gardens. We certainly have. For more on the homes and behind the scenes, check out our Instagram and Facebook. See you next time for more Open Homes.